Hi, assalamu alaikum everyone. So we are going to start with a very simple question. A lot of scary things are shared about AI, where people start feeling that AI is going to take their jobs. So I would like to start with Mr. Mohammad. What do you feel that is AI going to take the jobs of collections or is going to complement the jobs?
No, it will complement, definitely.
So can you elaborate how, as a collector, if somebody is sitting here and coming to the event and listening about the AI and getting scared that tomorrow maybe he will be sent home, so how we can tell him that how it's going to complement him?
Well, AI definitely doesn't know common sense. You feed the AI with information, you code it, and it will execute the actions. So definitely with your common sense, with your evaluations that AI cannot do, this is the way that it will complement you rather than take your job. It will be like an advisor for you. It will give you more analysis. But as a frontliner, if you are dealing with the clients, probably you are the best to do the job and not the AI.
Perfect. Mr. Khalili, can you add something on this?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so answering this question heavily depends on the timeline. So if we're talking about the next 5 to 10 years, I don't think so. It wouldn't replace, it would complement, it'll make basically humans do their jobs better. In 50 years, I think that we're going to see something different when it comes to who ends up being in collections and therefore what is their treatment, right? Because if we're talking about AI is not only going to advance in debt collection, it's going to also advance in underwriting, right? And it's going to advance in the pre-delinquency signals, right? And with that, what our understanding of collections today is just going to be completely different, right? So that's what we think. But at least for the next 5 to 10 years, I can safely say we really don't believe that's going to happen. It's going to be a stretch. We will need less humans. That is there. We already saw that. At Cleargrid today, we have, 70% of our collections are done via AI, right? So we do see it. We didn't, alhamdulillah, we started as an AI business, so we never had to let anyone go, but our portfolio has been growing, and we never had to hire more. But yeah.
Perfect. Okay, moving on. Now when we talk about the strategy, that means that in the boardrooms or in the CEO levels thinking that how important collections are. Do you guys feel that as of today, collections are given the importance which they should have been given? I mean, everybody wants to go do the business growth, and growth cannot be done without having a proper collection strategy. But still, I feel, or in general, the focus more is on revenue, business growth, and collections falls behind. So I can take it with Mr. Hussain. You want to add something?
Sure, that play a huge factor in the strategic objectives for the higher level management. Today, I'm not seeing the AI in collection just for the revenue and gaining more money to help the cash flow. It's even help the reducing the operational cost, especially for the fintechs industry. The main objective for the fintech industry is increasing the revenue and decreasing the operational cost to the lowest levels. So yeah, AI is essential today for that industry, especially.
Okay. Perfect. Mr. Faisal, you want to add something?
Yes. See, the importance and awareness is already higher than before. But let's get back into history. I'm talking now about banks. Banks in Saudi Arabia used to have their remedial departments, which used to be only getting accounts when there is no chance of recoveries, and just to implement legal action, and that's it. It keeps at the file. During the past 5 years, or especially after the 2008 financial crisis, awareness had begun in all the world. So even the central bank issued its guidelines in 2019, and banks began their transformation phase from remedial department to special assets department. They introduced new dedicated early warning signals divisions in order to detect it early enough to get the intervention early, so to save the client. They also have their dedicated debt restructuring departments in order to act as an ICU for clients in order to bring them back to business and not wait until the issue is deteriorated further. So when they implemented this during the 5 years, the rate of recoveries and collections, I'm talking here about the wholesale, not the retail side, in the past few years has increased significantly. So now the top management in banks are looking into this area, the delinquent portfolio of the wholesale, as an income and income generating, not only looking after the business or the retail business. So awareness and importance had increased. The investment of banks in these departments in special assets and early warning signal already increased. And here comes the AI. AI is important, especially in the early warning signals, because if you detect the warning signal late or not early enough, it will lose most of its importance. And many of the delinquent clients usually in the corporate and commercial side, they have multiple creditors. So the creditor who has the most efficient early warning signal tools, he will interfere first. So he will get the first mover advantage and possibly get better collaterals, restructure before things go bad.
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct. Thank you. So we are talking AI in everything right now. If we talk about some question instead of AI, for collections, sales, and credit, there are 3 parts of a collection, a complete collection cycle. So how do you think these 3 departments are interacting right now, or are equal importance given to collections with the sales to cover the full cycle? So Mr. Nadir, you can take something on this.
Yes, definitely. Today, in the first place, sales and collection and credit control work together to have a good result in a cash flow. So basically, starting from sales, gather correct information or accurate information from the client, and then credit do the due diligence from credit scoring, from credit evaluation, also checking client behavior. And then the collection do the work after sales to collect the payment on the due date. That's it.
Right. So now if we talk about the business strategies and we want to embed AI in the strategies, banks obviously are much more advanced in this because of the available resources. But if we talk about the corporates, so Mr. Khalili, how you think that strategies can involve AI involvement in them? Because now what we feel as a corporate, AI addition is a software cost addition, or something like it will be adding the cost to the bottom line. And every business right now is becoming more cost conscious than before.
Right. I mean, it's interesting. So the way I would see it is a bit different when it comes to corporates, like non-banking, basically adopting AI. We've actually seen that happen much faster, from my experience at least. And that's mainly due to, let's say, the appetite towards risk, appetite for technology adoption. A lot of, especially with fintechs, right? If we look at, let's take Klarna as an example, one of the leading BNPLs in the world, and when you look at it, they've replaced 70% of their workforce with AI already. Right? I was talking to someone from their marketing department, and they were like, we're only 3 people managing 25 cities. So I would say, no, they're actually doing a great job there. And in terms of cost, if anything, it makes things cheaper, right? What is the cost per minute for an AI nowadays compared to a person, their salary, end of service, insurance? I would say, if anything, it's a cost-efficient solution rather than a more difficult one.
All right. Customer-centric AI collection solutions. So how we can like Cleargrid is specialized in that. They are focusing, they are still learning, and they are evolving in that. As banks, when you guys talk to the customer through AI, how we can incorporate empathy in this and to understand the customer's character. I think there are some talks happening on this, but if you can elaborate, who wants to take this?
Actually, we've done some work on that, so I can take
Anyone from the banks, because you are already specialized in the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyone?
We are dealing with wholesale, so I'm concerned with the B2B, as I told you. But I believe that banks began taking that experience. They are still not yet mature enough, and not all the banks already implemented it as of what I'm aware of. But I think this next 2 years will tell us more if it will be as a success story or not.
Correct. Mr. Khalili, you want to add something on this?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to empathy, signals, all of that, I think the AI is now capable of doing. With the AI, if something wrong happens, like a bad conversation with a client, the biggest issue that would come out of it is that this is intentional. Like someone must have programmed it to be aggressive. So you can't do that anymore, right? And given that most of collection is expected to be AI based, then you will have to change things. So that's one. Two, we do expect some people to misuse it. And that's going to create noise. And we've seen that in other markets. And then when that noise is created, regulation starts to tighten. And that's when we will see a bigger movement towards customer experience. We will see a bigger movement towards compliance, all of that. And that would become more of a must, right? So yeah, that's what I think.
If I would add on this, I noticed during the past 1 year that there is a lot of emphasis on when it comes to AI interference and collection in just the the conversation. While this for banks, for a bank, it's not that investment to have to recruit staff to make the calls. So this is not the main solution for me. The main solution in AI is detecting early warning signals, even for retail side. It segments the portfolio, it brings analysis, it makes simulation when I'm doing a debt rescheduling or restructuring. Is this going to succeed or not? As you know, in the past many years, many cases that went into restructuring failed. Maybe because at the beginning, there was no such an advanced tool to simulate will it succeed or not. So I think AI involvement should be a lot more in not only focusing on the calls. The banks is the last thing maybe to think about because it's not that costly there. They want to invest in other areas.
Yeah, agreed. And something I want to add on to that, it's actually, to your point, voice in fact is the thing that AI can do well the least, right? It's the riskiest use case of AI, right? But yeah, absolutely. When it comes to detecting signals, categorizing customers, the machine learning that would score and prioritize customers, that's actually what AI could do really well nowadays. Like where the technology is, that's actually the one piece that you can get out of it, even with the 3 models and the 2 models and the A and the AB, right? You would be able to get that. You don't even need the latest ones. So yeah, totally.
And even it can learn from history. So it can give me feedback if I'm lending to this geographic location or to this certain category. I might face some issues that I will not face in others. So it will give us a lot of hints.
Right.
Actually,
so,
one thing on that, one interesting thing that I remember, and that was in the first use case for us, that like a human wouldn't be able to go after. We had like this customer that was in recovery, therefore we were going after them. And I remember that the AI kept on pointing that they're anxious, they're willing to pay. But that customer was never answering. And then when we dug deep into the reasoning, why is it saying you should go after, like you should talk to this customer? It turns out that this customer has been always logging in after a message at like 12, 1, 2 a.m., right? So you have that thing that's monitoring. So in the AI's world, they were like, this customer is probably anxious. It's not that he's not thinking about the debt, he's thinking about it every night. You should talk to them. And that's the kind of stuff that AI would be really good at.
All right, thanks. So, Mr. Mohammad, when we talk about AI and the strategies, how important it is to have clarity on the strategic level, that how we are going to embed AI in our business, in collections, and in other aspects also. So, what you can say on this, that strategic importance of this, and having the clarity, because everything will depend on the rules and regulations. AI, what you have to tell it will do the same thing what you are telling.
So basically, what tells an AI what is wrong and what is right is your policies and procedures.
True.
Right? This is the feed. And in a universe where the policies and procedures are not clear, or not aligned across different departments, whether credit, collection, sales, finance operation, or investment, then the entire journey of collection is just weak. And AI will fail before it begins, actually.
True.
Right? So basically now one side of it is looking to the credit and sales, which is default probability and the contract, and the collection is reinforcing that agreement into action, which with the focus of collection behavioral scoring to determine the delay of the payment. To do what? To finance the company for its obligations, right? And for the investment.
Correct.
Right? So all of these policies should be clear, crystal. Put it in the AI to analyze, to help the decision maker to optimize the cash that is needed by the company and to determine the credit criteria to grant the client up or down based on the company's need and investment needs. So the AI will be in a great help to analyze, and again, it will not replace a human, it's just to advise the respective team of what the action to do to maintain the objective of the company.
Correct. Anyone wants to add something? Yes,
Allow
please.
me to add also just I think that there is no issue in the technology itself. Instead, the main challenge in the AI is the data quality and the governance and having trust in the outcomes.
Correct. Correct. True. So now now we are coming to data and AI and everything, the scary part is the cybersecurity. We are all talking about something that we are going to do things, amazing things with AI, and cybersecurity is a threat which is also evolving maybe at the higher pace. So data residency, either that is how we are controlling it, or then what are the protocols on that. And I believe the Saudi, some regulation is on the private data, some regulation is there. So now when the corporates and the banks are evolving in this, and at the same time cyber threats are also there. So at the end, the Saudi lending market, how you guys see in the next coming years that how this threat can be managed? Because the threat is evident, and it's already we see examples in the world that it can affect and it can have a significant cost. So, Sam, you can start on this.
Sama today is doing a great job when it's come to data protection, the curriculum, the articles that they are issuing. But our part today to build the right algorithms to be in line with these data protection rules. So today we are still starting to have live AI models, but we have to make sure periodically that we are following and writing and implementing the right algorithm to prevent any future or possible breaches. And I want to hear from our colleague from Cleargrid.
The expert
when
on
it's
this.
come to when it's come to data protection. I believe they are doing a great job, but it's important to hear from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what I was talking about earlier today, right? Adopting AI for any company is one thing, right? You can use OpenAI for it, great. But adopting it for banking, for financial institutions, for SAMA compliant organizations is a completely different ballgame, right? When it comes to adoption of AI, one, the data quality, as you've rightly mentioned, is one big part. And the data quality is not only in the predictive data quality. You can have Trojan horses within the data that will end up turning
Correct.
into attacks. So you
Correct.
can't just like source data
Yes.
from anywhere,
Yes.
right? Otherwise, Hugging Face would be a perfect place to buy data from, actually to just download data from. It's free nowadays, and you can just get whatever you need to get. So that's one concern. I think I mean, for me as a Middle Eastern startup founder, these things do make me happy because they give me the opportunity, right? Now I have the chance to build something for this region and not have to think about competing with OpenAI. And I think we're going to see a beautiful evolution when it comes to tech startups and tech companies who's trying to exactly solve for that problem. And this is a very interesting, unique place to be. We've been always, I've done startups my whole life. This is like number 4, but the thing is we were always competing with a tech giant coming somewhere from the US, the UK, whatever. The beauty about this day and age is that I actually finally feel empowered. I can build something for this region, right? Not having to worry about that. So for me, this is great.
Excellent. So we spoke about cybersecurity threat a little. Now, when we talk about the Saudi market in general, I think we are running, I guess, Jamal, we are 5 minutes. So just a quick recap now that let me ask you that if a foreign investor is coming in Saudi market and 2025, in my opinion, was a slow year because government funding a little bit delayed in general, and when the investor is coming and we are attracting investments right now, Saudi is attracting foreign investments and it's coming big way. So when it comes to our infrastructure of collections, how prepared we are and how much we should be prepared. So starting from Mr. Nadir, that are we there or we have to go a lot or do a lot?
We are there, but definitely the collection will never stop. The technology will never stop, because technology also can help us here a lot in collection. Basically, today is, if you talk about credit, for example, technology can help to facilitate this and to expedite the process. So it is customer satisfaction as well and collection satisfaction.
Because the things lacking like credit profiling, we have banks are having their credit bureau, SEMA,
Yeah.
but corporates, if they want to access the credit profiling and credit data, still we are a little bit behind.
We are still behind, yes, but we are growing, and we are having now 2 companies in Saudi Arabia as a credit bureau, and they are focusing on individual, yes, but they are going to deep dive in corporate as well.
Perfect. Anyone else? Same thing, same question?
Foreign investors should look to the industry as a whole and not to specific clients. And if the structure of the industry is not there yet, then a lot to be said.
Correct.
Now, the regulator is trying to do their best to regulate the market, but I think there are more to do
True.
yet in terms of, because the market is evolving at a fast rate, right? And if you want to embed a right credit or collection policies that does not fit with the market criteria, right, which a market is exposed to higher risk, then you have to go easying in the market for opportunities.
Correct.
Otherwise, you'll not keep up with the market.
Correct. So I think we are at the time now. We have few minutes to take some questions. If anyone in the audience want to say something, ask any question. Yes, please. I think we can.
Was there any legal risks when using AI? An example that comes to mind is there are glitches and says you are forgiven, you do not have to pay anything. So, from the legal side, was there any risks from your experience? Thank you.
You want this question, Mr. Khalili, to answer, or anybody else?
Mohammed maybe is the more experienced one.
Sure. Okay, so have we seen legal risks? I mean, when I would say 3 years ago, it was a very risky game using AI. I can't recall something where, that's the thing, from the moment we started, at least, we've seen, we knew what kind of industry we're getting ourselves into, right? So we made sure that even if we don't use the latest and the best, we use the safest, right? To basically avoid those very much problems. There are those stories that we heard from outside about times when it gone wrong. As I mentioned, it could easily go wrong if you don't have the right infrastructure. There are stories that I've heard, not in Saudi, but in other places that were present, where the AI basically started to threaten people, said, I'm going to take you to legal action when they couldn't. The AI, in fact, in one of the Chinese models, started to go a bit more aggressive on the customer and start to use some unethical psychological techniques. So it could easily go wrong. That's the...
Right. Anyone else? Any question?
Question to Mohammad. Why you are focusing on the collection part of the AI and not on the credit assessment from step one? And since the morning, everyone is saying that AI for collection, but I think we are missing the first step in the cycle, which is the credit assessment and studying, evaluation, the credit to be in the future, not defaulter.
Right. So actually, okay, so I mean AI, if you think about it as a concept, is not very new, right? There's machine learning has been there for a while, and actually it's been quite used there. For me as an entrepreneur, let's say, that's where I saw the biggest gap in collections. There is nothing there, right? Absolutely nothing. There's nothing tailored for the region. There's nothing tailored for the kingdom. There's nothing tailored for this. And we saw a gap. And other markets, by the way, have done, like, if you look at many examples, and I guess I can't name those companies by names, but other companies have done some impressive work across the UK and the US when it comes to debt collection. So we just saw the gap, right? And that's the problem we've been very passionate about. Will it grow one day to credit risk? Most likely. But I can tell you there's a lot of people who have been doing that for a while. Collections was the space that no one was touching for a long period of time.
Can we have another question if we have? I guess that's it. So thanks, gentlemen. Sorry, there is one question. Yeah, please.
I have another question for you, Mohammed. This Fadil Mollad from Emirates MBD, KSA, Retail Risk Department. What matters to us most is the how would AI in collection be able to track the patterns of delinquent customers and be able to provide me with insights that will help me in enhancing my debt origination process and improving my credit policy.
Right. So if you're asking in general how AI could do that, like besides Cleargrid, so from what we've seen in the market, actually the interesting thing is that AI started to get very good at looking at the fundamentals of the 3 C's of credit, right? And the interesting thing, if you think about it, if you look at the credit bureaus, how they started, it used to be a bunch of people with notepads. They used to go to villages, and they used to ask about the person, right? They would ask the barber, does he pay on time, does he not? All of that, right? And then they would interview the person to understand their capacity and capital. Those are the 3 C's, right? Character, capacity, and capital. And what happened with digitization, the Web 2.0, right, which is the normal internet, is that we got so good at understanding capacity and capital, but we didn't have anything on character till AI came back and brought this piece up. Previously, I would say for the last 40, 50 years, character was only judged based on the person's patterns in payment with other loans, which is basically the credit score, right? But they didn't actually judge the character of the person. They didn't look into their personality. They didn't look into their psychology. And that's the interesting piece that AI has brought into the table back again. So I would say it's back to the same fundamentals, but with n number of data. So that's on the credit part. On the debt collection piece, as I've mentioned, it's the signals. Did the person open the email, right? Did they open the email and just simply not reply? That's a signal, right? You stop seeing that as just an insight to track right after how much did I recover. Now you're looking at that as an avoidant customer who knows that I'm trying to talk to them. They're just not talking back to me. How do I deal with them? Where do I take it from there? And imagine doing that at scale.
Anyone further question? One in the back there.
Hi, I'm from electronic company, LG Electronics. So what I understand is when we think about AI, we need to categorize as information and emotion. And secondly, about the investment and the generation. So as we know, like if we take Gen Z or Gen Alpha, it's like completely on AI. So my question is like, why you think we are not yet ready? Like even if we take about the investment is about the future. And Gen Z, Gen Alpha, when they are coming, they are more into information than emotion, the current scenario. So my question is, why we think that we are not yet ready?
So not yet ready, guys. Not yet ready, you can define in what sense?
As initially when we were explaining, like AI, we are not ready to start,
no,
right?
I guess AI, we are all talking, we are embracing AI. And it's all about the stages. And like banks are already there maybe. Other corporates are still catching up. So anyway, guys, if you understood the question, because I guess what she means that how we are not advancing in AI to the pace, because all the Gen Z, everyone, they want to speak the AI or social language. This.
To clarify the question, simply, future is coming with AI, we know, right? And now, if we start investing on AI and if we don't initiate right now, how we will be...
So means anyone who has not yet started, the question for them. Who can take it?
I think we are ready, especially for the early stages when it's come to collection. However, the AI is a machine learning model. It's need months and days and practice and data feeding in order to reach to the ideal model that we can depend on. Maybe some companies or some banks, it's risky for them to start without seeing live action and live impact on the AI. However, the majority, when it's come to early collection stages, we are ready from AI perspective.
Anyone else wants to clarify further? Mohammad, your perspective on this? We are ready, or?
I mean,
you are ready.
There,
we can see you are
we're
ready.
like we're in the deep end, right? So I think we're beyond just ready. Maybe the question was more about when we said I don't know if it's when I said that AI won't replace human for at least 10 years, and with that, what I meant.
Yes.
Okay. So to clarify, what I'm saying is that it's not that it's going to replace human at 100%. There are instances where you would need a human, right? So, and that's the example that I mentioned. when we were testing Cleargrid and started the agency that my co-founder was talking about, we were able to use 70% less humans, right? The AI was doing that 70% job, right? But in terms of the technology, and that refers to voice is not there, right? Voice cannot know that you entered an elevator and therefore your voice is cutting and it would start to come up with words, right? Voice has a long way to go. It can do it at 70%, right? But to do it at 100%, no, the technology itself is not there yet. And I don't think with voice AI we're going to get there till, we are launching something interesting, so I'll use that opportunity to talk about our voice-to-voice engine that's coming soon, which will remove this text-to-speech, speech-to-text shenanigan that's happening. But even till then, the technology is very fragile. It's a baby. It's still crawling. I don't think it matured yet to achieve that 100%. In intelligence, and again going to the main point, data analysis, detecting patterns, it can do that today, right? Voice AI is the one that, because the question was, would it replace agents at 100%? I would say it would need at least a few years to go.
Yeah, so that is that information-wise, we are ready.
But
emotion-wise, we are not still ready.
No. The technology is fragile. Today, I'll give you an example. Sometimes, even if you look at all the metrics, right, that go into speech-to-text detection, which is like when the customer is talking, how would the AI understand? That's called speech-to-text, STT or ASR. Now with that, an Arabic customer would say hello, right? It would go and would transcribe it as hello, which means sweet, right? And the AI would respond accordingly. Word error rates in the best of the best of the best models have not achieved 85% in HD accent till this day, right? The human would have understood that, right? He would have understood, did the customer say hello? Did he say hello? And if he said hello, then that doesn't make sense. I must have heard it wrong. Therefore, I'm going to respond with wa alaikum assalam or hello, right? So that's the kind of nuances that where the AI is still not there yet.
Okay, I guess thank you. Thank you everyone for your presence, and thank you the audience. You have been excellent audience. Thanks.